Alright guys, now we are going to write a simple tool that will brute force these directories like we did in the GoBuster. So GoBuster, we have specified the URL and the word list, and it has found these website directories. So we are going to find this using this Python tool. So before that, first I want to introduce you the request module. So this request module is used to send the request and get the responses, and we can uh, see the response status codes and also the output. So it's like a Python client. You can send the request and you can modify those requests, and you can change those change and view those request headers. What you want to do is you need to say request uh, request dot get. So this is a get function. This will basically get any website, that is index.html you specify. Let's say https google.com. So this returns the response status code. Let's say response. This is the response object, and you can print this response. So we have got this request, that is we have requested the HTML index page or this google.com, and we got this response object. So let's go ahead and print this response. And it says response 200. Now you need to say response dot status code. So response dot status underscore code, which gives the only the status number. So it says 200. That means we got the index.html file. Even though if you got 404 error not found, it's a HTML file, right? So you can view that HTML source code using this response.text. And you can see there is a lot of code going on, and this is the HTML script, that is the google.com index page HTML script. So for this tutorial, you want to say only we can just go with the status code. If you print this one, you will get the success code. So we got this 200. Now let's say Nikhil. So there is no directory on this Nikhil, so we will get the 404 error not found. So this is the basic foundation for writing the web brute forcer. So you can see the status codes here, and what you want to do is I created a sample list. This is one php myadmin dev nikhil cjadmin. So I have just created sample text to test our tool. So I have already run this GoBuster to find out the common directories, and I have written in a text file to just try it in our tool. So what we are going to do is we want to read the text from this file. You can think this as a word list, and for each word you need to append it to this main domain, that is google.com, and you need to send the get request. If you got the 200 response code, that means that directory exists. Otherwise, if you get 404, the directory does not exist. So let's go ahead and run the write this code. First we need to get the contents from this file, right? Let's ask the user for the input, right? Let's say file descriptor is equals to input of enter word list file. So now user will enter the word list file, say sample.txt, and it will be stored in let's say file name, just for our easy reference. And the file name consists of this sample.txt. Now we are going to open this. F is equals to open of file name, and in the read only mode. So read only mode is just enough because we are not going to write any content into this text file. So there is a method called read line. So let me say temp is equals to f dot read line. So it will So this method will read the first line from the text file, that is php myadmin. Let me go ahead and print this content of temp. And lastly, I am going to close this file. So let me close this one. So let me run the script and we see enter this file, it's a sample.txt. And you can see the first line, we have got the first line, that is php myadmin. And now if I say read lines, so we have got this list. So in each of these list, we can iterate over this for loop. So let me go ahead and write this for loop for I in f dot read line. So I am going to say print of I dot decode. So let me run this one. So it's already the string, you don't need to worry about this decode. So alright, now let me comment out this one. Let me comment out this one for now. At the ending we will uncomment this one. Let's say sample.txt, because when testing each time giving input is very time consuming task. So we have got this all the lines php myadmin dev nikhil cj bin. So now what we are going to do is we want to take a domain, right? Say google.com, and we need to append it to this last slash php myadmin slash dev slash nikhil slash cj bin, and we need to send the request. So now what we are going to do is, let's say our metasploitable 2 is running up and its IP address is 192.168.0.101. So let's perform on this machine. So this is the actual domain, the main domain. Let me copy this. So now we are getting each and every word and it is stored in I. So what we want to say is URL is equals to, let me paste this main domain here, and let's say plus I. So let me go ahead and run this URL. So just to make sure that we are getting correct URL or not. So we have got this URL page myadmin dev nikhil cj bin. So now we need to send the request, that is the get request. So let's say response is equals to request dot get of URL. Now we need to say print URL URL plus, okay, let me format this one. Dot format of URL comma response response dot status underscore code, right? So we are just printing the URL and the respective status code. So let me go ahead and run this one. So we have got this 404 error for everything. We have got the 301 status code here, and let me see whether there is, so index php info, let's try on this index php info. So let me run the script again. So we have got the 404 only, so I don't know where it's. So for PHP info we got the 200 response code. Okay, I think there is a new line over here, so that's why maybe it's going wrong. So let me go ahead and say remove white spaces. Alright, now let's say URL. Now let me go ahead and run this. So we have got only 200 for PHP info. So let me say this one is index.php, right? So let me change this to index.php. Alright, now I am understanding this one. Let me just comment out these lines and let me print everything. Print of I. So let me run the script. I'm just printing everything in a list, and as you can see there is the forward slash n at the end of these strings. So that's why we are getting the 404 error, because it's asking for slash n also. So for at the ending element PHP info we did not have the slash n, that's why we got the status code 200. So let me remove this. Now let me just to say, so now we need to remove this last two elements from the that string, right? Now let's say 0 is to length of I minus 2. Now I think we will get the correct response because we are removing the last two characters. Alright, for the last one PHP info we will get the, we will ask for PHP, right? Alright, now let's just execute this one. So we need to say -1. Sorry for that. Alright, so let me add some temp here, so that this will get 404. However, we don't care, but this will get the 200. So let me run this again. So as you can see, PHP admin got 200, Dev 200, Nikhil, there is no Nikhil, 404. CG admin we got 404. Let me take a look at this. We got 403. So it's a client side error. Okay, it's not a problem, but we will only look for 200 codes. Index.php and php.info. PHP info is 200. So this is the basic WordPress directory buster you can write. You can also check for .php also. So this is checking for normal web directories, right? /php myadmin. You can also append press .php. You can also write these PHP files. And you can see you will get only these few options. So let me remove this .php file. So let me just say index only. Now let's run our script again. So as you can see, we got index.php, php info.php, and these are all directories. These are not PHP files. That's why we got the 404 errors. So in this case, this is the basic directory buster. We can also modify this to HTML also. I think we don't get any output. Let's just try. So we got everything as a error. So let us also write some more script to find this .php also. So we have got this URL here, and this one. Alright, what we're going to do is, if response dot status code is equals to 200, then only we will print the output. So let's go ahead and run this. So there is php-admin dev index and php info. So this is very some fine output rather than previous one, because we also got the status codes. You can also print the status codes here, but let me just try for php files also. You can also just copy this one and copy and paste it in here. Let's say .php. So if there are any php files, you will also get the php files. So as you can see, we have got the directories and we have got also the php files. So you can also copy this code and also check for html files. So okay, now let's go and add the user input. Let's say file name, enter the word list file, and we are going to change the sample.txt to file name. So the file name is added here. Now we will also ask for what the IP address or the domain name, right? So let's say domain is equals to input of enter domain to brute force the directory. So we need to make sure that we have given the backslash at the end of the string. So we will ask the domain, and then we can remove this IP address and put the domain. So let me go ahead and run this script. So it's asking domain for brute force. Let's say http IP address and then word list file sample.txt. So you can also give the command line arguments like python file space and then file name space, argument 1 as domain, argument 2 as word list. You can also build your tool like that, but it's just this is very nice to when you are learning. It will be nice to ask the user input like this. So if I hit enter, I will get these directories which have the status code. You can also print the status code here. So it will be very nice to print the status code. So let me run this script again. So let me just copy this one. So we have got this response at 200. So you can just change this print statement here also, then you will get the 200. So that's all for this video. I hope you have understood. In this way you can also check for .php, .html also. So this GoBuster also have the options. You can specify these extensions using the X option. I think I have told this in the GoBuster tool, or anyway now you can learn this. So you can also just copy paste this whole code and change the extension to .html or .text files. So this is the basic web crawler or web brute forcer. You can just find the directories and the files of a website.